the absolute gold in what Nick just shared, that he didn't go into, these lunches in order to get clients. And that's really powerful because, as you've demonstrated, Nick, the clients come, but you've just been interested in people. You've just wanted to connect with people and expand your world. And I think that's really vital, to let go of expectation.
Well, hi everyone, my name's Sonia Kavanagh, and this is the Insights for Positive Change series, where I get to chat with experts on a variety of topics to help you on your personal growth journey. And this is episode 5. And if you would like to check out some of my other interviews, please go to my YouTube channel and subscribe, and that would be great. But today, our topic is around the benefits of building our network. And I have 2 very special, lovely guests and friends. And that is Kerry Phipps and Nick Bendall. Thank you guys for coming on today. Really appreciate your time.
Great to be here, Sonia. Thank you.
And I couldn't imagine 2 more perfect people to talk about this topic with, so I'm really happy to have you both. But anyway, Kerry, I'd love you to share a little bit about yourself and what you do for work and why you love to do what you do.
Well, I love bringing the best out in people, and I've been coaching with home-based businesses, leaders, entrepreneurs, and teachers, mostly difference makers, I would call them, since 2004, which led to writing articles for magazines, because I was pushing myself out of the comfort zone, like, maybe one day I could write for a magazine, and then, maybe I could write a book. And so it grew. And so then now I've written 5 books, my most recent being How to Talk to Strangers to Decrease Anxiety, Build Confidence, and Make a Bigger Difference in the World. And that came about because of my previous 2 books, Do Talk to Strangers. I love connecting with people, and I just think there's so many amazing possibilities that are just a conversation away. So, of course, that's why I'm here to connect with you and your friends and viewers today.
Thanks so much. Lovely. And I love your book, and I have this one.
Yay!
And
there she is.
The Do Talk to Strangers one, and that has already helped me go to the next level in my connecting as well. So
that's awesome.
Love what you do. And how about you, Nick? You'd like to share a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Thank you, Sonia. I'm going to be a little bit greedy and mention 2 things. The first thing is I own a copywriting agency called Hunter and Scribe. We do writing for other businesses, things like blogs, social media posts, website texts, media releases, case studies, ebooks, emails. I really like that because I've got a background as a writer and I really enjoy writing. And the second thing I'm going to mention is I'm in the process of having lunch with 500 strangers in 5 years. That's true, Sonia, yes. And the reason I enjoy that so much is I've been meeting all these wonderful people. For example, the 171st person I met was a wonderful woman named Sonia Kavanagh. And the 180th person I met was another wonderful woman named Kerry Phipps. And when I met Kerry, she was kind enough to give me this incredible book, and she even autographed it for me.
I had to buy mine, but anyway. Yeah, thanks, Nick. And I met you through LinkedIn, I believe, and I heard about your project, and I said I would love to be a part of your 500 lunches with strangers. And even with Kerry, we also connected through LinkedIn, and then we realised that we had some mutual friends. So I just feel like both of you are very special people in my world, and so glad to have connected with you. But anyway, enough chit chat. Let's just go straight to our topic, which is the benefits of building our network. And I know we're all in lockdown at the moment, so it seems like a strange topic to talk about. However, one day we will be out there again, and we will be in various settings, whether it's in business, networking, or even in community organisations where we're getting to build our network and meet new people. And so I'm just going to go straight to the actual answer to this question. And I'd love to hear both of you, your thoughts about this. So what are the benefits of building our network? So Nick, do you want to share first?
Yeah, thank you, Sonia. I would say there are a few benefits. Since I've started having lunch with all these people, I've really improved my social skills, and I've learned a lot because I've met people from a really wide variety of backgrounds, and I've been able to have all these conversations I wouldn't normally have, which means I've learned things I wouldn't normally learn. And also the great thing about building a network is you attract more opportunity into your life, because the more people you know, the more potential things they might ask you to do, or the more people they can connect you to. And again, since I've started having all these lunches, I've attracted opportunities I wouldn't normally have attracted. For example, being able to participate in this discussion today.
Excellent. Yes, thanks for that. I absolutely agree that's one of the great benefits, just those opportunities that can come along. What about you, Kerry?
Yeah, kind of similar. I think we learn and expand our world, and there are so many possibilities in that. And just as Nick started sharing, I thought it's also about, like, we learn so much about the world around us and ourselves. So even when we are not, connecting like in a traditional networking sense, or getting out and about and meeting people, of course some of your listeners will be enjoying a bit more freedom in some other states or countries, and it's just a temporary situation, but we are still connecting online, and every connection with somebody is an opportunity to reflect. And I think that connecting with people who are quite different to us can really expand our empathy and just build our awareness of what else goes on in the world, that there's a different perspective than what we may have grown up with or have just assumed based on our experience. So I really love that we can just enrich each other's lives by sharing our experiences and really listening to where other people are coming from.
That's lovely. Yeah, so for you it's really about learning to value each and every person that you come into contact with, and just expanding our world somewhat and get out of our own little kind of shell in some way.
Yeah, because as my world expands, then that gives opportunity for people in my world to expand their world also. Does that make sense? I took my son overseas when he was just a young teenager, to give him an experience of what was happening in other countries where education was so highly valued and not easy to access, and where healthy food and water was not something that we just take for granted like we can in Australia. So that's a specific example of expanding someone's world, and that only happened because I'd expanded my own world, because I've been connecting with people who are continuing to grow also. So yeah, we help each other grow.
Yeah, absolutely. And so those benefits of having opportunities and new experiences and things like that, why do you think we kind of hold back in maybe wanting to build our network or make a new connection? Who would like to answer that first?
I'll give that one a crack, Sonia. I think it's fear and ignorance that holds us back. Ignorance in the sense that we don't realise how beneficial it can be to build these networks. And I used to be in that camp myself. I didn't realise how beneficial it would be to meet all these people and from diverse backgrounds. And I think the fear comes from, what are people going to think if I contact them? Am I going to be good enough? Are they going to laugh at me? Why would they ever want to talk to me? I better just not do it.
I love that, because it is about the conversation that we're having in our head. It's about the assumptions that we make. It comes from responding to that fear rather than looking at it and going, is that actually realistic? Do I judge people as harshly as that? Maybe I'm actually preoccupied with what I want to talk about, and I'm not judging other people. So maybe other people are not judging me because they're thinking about what they want to share. And, to realize that is still an assumption, and to let that go and just see the best in people. So very much it's just about the conversation in our head. That's what it comes back to. That's what gets in the way.
Yeah, I agree. And even from reading your book, Kerry. It really helped me to realise that when I'm out there meeting people that I just need to forget about myself so much and what people may think or think, not think about me. So that helped me put my focus on other people more rather than myself. Yeah,
it's kind of liberating, isn't it?
Very much so. And I felt like the quality of the connection that I had after I started doing that was much, much better. And I walked away feeling more fulfilled by doing that. So thank you both for sharing that. Really important information. And so for anyone watching and they're like, yes, I do want to expand my network. I do want to make some new connections in whatever sphere of influence they are in. What would you suggest would be maybe one or two things that they could start to do? Kerry, do you want to answer that?
Well, if I can refer to the asking model in Do Talk to Strangers, which I also mentioned in How to Talk to Strangers, it all starts with awareness. So like we just mentioned, the conversation in your head, the assumptions that you make, the fear that you have. If you can be aware of that, then you can have a better conversation. And if you can be more aware of the other people around you, like, oh, maybe other people are a little awkward about connecting too. Maybe other people are interested in learning something. So when I would go to an event, I would say to, it sounds so past tense, doesn't it? When I go to events, I might look out for the people that are a little bit on the edge, like they are not sure who to talk to. So I'll go and talk to them because I know what it's like to be on the outside. But then, I'll ask them, what are they looking to get out of the event? Like, what are they looking forward to? And if you ask people, what are you looking forward to? That's an easy question to answer. There's no right or wrong with that. They can just share something. And because they're sharing something positive, then the energy, grows from there rather than like a hard question that is tricky to answer. That makes us feel awkward and uncomfortable. So that awareness of self and others really helps. And then start small. And I think Nick will have some great little tips that could follow on from starting small, just taking small steps.
Yeah, beautiful. And even arming yourself with a question or two can help as well.
Yes.
Yeah. How about you, Nick?
I think just start contacting people, as scary as it might be. Since I started contacting all these strangers and inviting them to lunch, one thing I've discovered is how positively people respond. And they say things like, oh, wow, Nick, I can't believe you just contacted a complete stranger. I think that's amazing. I know I should be doing stuff like that, but I've just never had the guts to do it. And so far from laughing at you for contacting them, these people actually really, really respect you. And so I think once people change a story in their head, I realize that contacting a complete stranger isn't something that's going to lead to ridicule. It's something that's going to lead to respect. And I think just push yourself out of your comfort zone, just contact people. It might be by email, it might be by phone, but just contact someone, ask them for some sort of meeting, whether it's an online virtual meeting or a face-to-face lunch or coffee. And if you start doing that, you're going to start building your network.
Wow, very inspiring. And I have to say that, yes, you have definitely inspired me to do just that. I think I've been making more of an effort to contact people from seeing what you do, Nick. So thank you so much. And yeah, it's just about getting out there and having a go, and you never know what can come out of that. So my final question is for both of you. I would love you to share maybe a personal experience, and maybe probably already have, but just how making a new contact or connection has really benefited you personally or even in your business. So who will I go to? How about you, Kerry?
Sure, thanks, Sonia.
Ladies first.
So I don't think I have this story in any of my books, but if you have read it, sorry. But this just came to me, that a conversation on a plane on a Friday night when I had traveled like so far to get interstate to a country town, and then like there was buses and trains and etc. to get to the airport to then have 2 flights home. And so I was a little tired. It was Friday night. I think the woman beside me was tired. So, we just had a little chit chat, and then, she read a book, and then dinner came out, and then we had a little chat during dinner. And then she said, oh, it would be great to have you speak to my members, because she asked what I'd been doing during the week and etc. We talked about hers. I was like, yeah, great. And so after I got home, she bought my book, my entrepreneur's book, on online. And then about a month later, she contacted me and said, can you come and speak to our members? But rather than like a members event in a state in Australia, I thought it was going to be, it was their national conference, which was international for the first time. And so they paid for me to speak at the conference. They asked if my husband would like to come as their guest. And then they took us to like a beautiful island day trip after the conference finished. It was just the most amazing experience. And it just started with, sharing a tired Friday night trip home. But it was, being respectful of her space and, giving her time to read, but also just having that little chit chat and building relationship and talking about what we were doing that just opened that amazing door, which opened more doors after that.
Wonderful. And how about you, Nick?
Well, I've been really lucky, Sonia. I've met 186 people so far, 186 strangers for lunch. And I haven't tried to turn any of these people into clients. And a lot of the people I've met are people who could never be clients, but 8 of them have actually become clients. They've contacted me afterwards and they've suggested, what about it, could we work together? So that's been direct benefit to my business. And because I'm a little greedy, I might mention one other thing, not directly a business benefit, but after people started hearing about my experience of having all these lunches, I was invited to speak at a maximum security prison, which was a fascinating experience. And I got to meet the prisoners, hear their stories. They gave me a tour of the facility. And that was an experience that I would never have ever had I not started meeting all these strangers.
Love it. Love it. So
can I just say that the absolute gold in what Nick just shared, apart from the last part, which is absolute gold to step into someone else's world, that's so different. But right at the beginning of that, he said that he didn't go into, these lunches in order to get clients. And that's really powerful because, as you've demonstrated, Nick, the clients come, but you've just been interested in people. You've just wanted to connect with people and expand your world. And I think that's really vital, to let go of expectation from strangers, to just be in the moment, to just connect with them, enjoy their company, and allow whatever ripple effects flow to come from that.
Yeah, and it comes from that, a thing about, someone getting to know you and like you and trust you, and then they become like your walking ambassadors, and and they just give you those opportunities.
Yeah, because we've all experienced kind of being pounced on, and we have the tendency to run away from like someone pouncing on us. But if somebody is just open to connect with us, then we want to keep that relationship and let that grow.
Absolutely. And even for myself, about 18 months ago, a lady that I met through local networking group, she encouraged me to start making some videos, and I started doing that very slowly, but this year I've been doing a lot more, and she's been noticing my growth in that area, and that I'm becoming more comfortable, sort of. But anyway, through that, and just seeing her occasionally at different networking events, she asked me to host a panel discussion around the topic of domestic violence. And if I hadn't have met her, and if I hadn't have been encouraged to do that, then I would not have had that opportunity either. And we're friends now as well. So it's just there's so much more to this whole thing about building our network and the benefits of that. Well, I think that ends our chat for today. So thank you, Kerry. Thank you, Nick, so much for being with me.
Thank you, Sonia.
Okay, so I hope you really were encouraged and inspired to get out there and make some connections when we can. But in the meantime, there's definitely opportunities to do that online as well. So no excuses, I guess. Yeah. So that's all for today. If you want some more information, please email me at sonia@sccounselingservices.com. And I'm sure Kerry and Nick would love you to connect with them on LinkedIn as well. And yeah, have a great day, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks, Sonia. Thanks, Nick.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.